Okay. We can make some bold statements using logic and the patents of Nikon and absolute irrefutable facts to make bold, explicit statements about Nikon's mirrorless system. It's apparent they're going to announce it this April for release sometime later this year or possibly early next year. By the way, Nikon celebrates, as well as Japanese companies, celebrate 100th anniversary, not just that year, but from the year it starts until the year it stops. So this is still Nikon's 100th anniversary from the perspective of the Japanese. So let's start off with a fact. All of current Nikon f-mount lenses, given the fact that it will be a mirrorless camera from Nikon, which Nikon has already said that they're making full-frame mirrorless. They've said that. The president of Nikon DSLRs has said that, so it is coming out. It is going to be announced this year because that's going to be their announcement for them. Let's make irrefutable statements about that. It will be impossible to use that camera and Nikon's current f-mount lenses without an adapter. Impossible. There's just no way around it. Nikon's filed a patent for that. I've seen the patent for it. Even without filing the patent, it will be a mirrorless system. Unless that mirrorless camera had a huge light box in it with the same distance, it'd be impossible. So none of the current Nikon lenses will be usable without a damn adapter. The actual psychology behind that's not too good. However, there's some good news for, Nikon knows this, and I'll mention that in a second. So, and there also is patent filings on 3 new lenses from Nikon to go with their mirrorless system. Nikon is going to release as few as 3 and as many as 4 or 5 lenses this year to be rolled out over a period of time. Likely it will be the case that there will be 3 lenses released immediately for a sale for the Nikon mirrorless system later this year or early next year after they announce it in March or April. That will be an irrefutable fact. Nikon will not release their mirrorless system and an adapter. They will release the mirrorless system, the adapter, and between 3 and 5 lenses. Probably 3 immediately with 2 more a little bit down the road. I know that will be the case. Absolutely frigging know it. Let's go on to 4 other irrefutable facts on their mirrorless system. It absolutely will not have the same video capabilities of Sony. I do not know whether it'll have IBIS, in-body image stabilization, or not. It probably will not. Nikon is not fond of doing that. Also, too, that would create issues, adapter or non-adapter, native lenses for the new mirrorless system, which they will be introducing, or original lenses with adapter, do not have the circular projection to allow for both optical image stabilization and in-body image stabilization. Nikon has never been too hardcore on video. That has been evidenced through every damn camera Nikon has ever came out with. That is irrefutable. So there's no way it's going to... I'm a person that, I can't say I hate Sony, but I pretty much despise them for countless empirical reasons. So I'm telling you flat out, the Nikon camera, the mirrorless one, won't be as good as Sony for video. So the video people that are waiting for that, you're not going to be shocked. You're probably going to stay with your Sony. Well, you will stay with your Sony. Number 4. I know for a fact that the design, the angelic design of the X-T2, this is just not my subjective opinion, the new Nikon mirrorless system will not have the near-perfect layout and forethought, much less the ongoing firmware. Nikon has never been one that Nikon makes a camera, unless there's a serious F-up, they don't release firmware. So it won't even come close to the X-T2 and the X-T3. The X-T3 is coming, by the way. No more statements on that one. There's no way in hell. Do you remember the Nikon DF? You remember the Nikon DF? So it won't be anywhere near as good as the Fujifilm X-T2 and X-T3. It's just too little too late for Nikon on that front. It's just, there's no damn way. It's impossible. This is a valid statement. That's not my subjective opinion. They just will not match it nor best it. Number 5, you will have in your hands the new mirrorless camera, whatever that will be, whatever specific form it takes, needing a new breed of native lenses. Otherwise, all Nikon current lenses will need that adapter that Nikon has filed the patent for. Supposedly it's going to be called the Z-mount system. I don't give a damn what the hell it's called. I know for a fact that every current f-mount lens will need a bleeping adapter. Period. Nikon, of course, wants their current legacy f-mount lenses, i.e. DSLR lenses, to be compatible, because that's just a huge plethora of lenses, but there's no way it's going to happen without an adapter. That's irrefutable. That's irrefutable. That's not even my opinion. That's exactly what is going to happen. So you're going to have this camera that's going to have 3 to 5 native lenses on it for the first year or so. Everything else is going to need an adapter. There is a psychology behind a brand new expensive camera that needs a frigging adapter. There is a psychology, even if it works just as fast autofocus, yada yada yada, there is a psychology behind that that is inescapable for Nikon. And if you think about that, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. Number 6, Nikon will have the same sort of fifth wheel mirrorless camera that Canon came out with, in their case the M5, the D, which is a wonderful little camera, especially for pointing for autofocus point. They'll have the exact same sort of fifth wheel mirrorless camera system that Canon came out with their M5. Neat, but not there yet. Not there yet. Too little, too late, and not there yet. When the Nikon mirrorless camera comes out, it will be TL, TL, too little, too late, and statements of just not there yet. Number 7, and I know this one is undeniable. It's like the Nikon DF, which is an obnoxious, bombastic beast. Nikon has never, ever embraced, except if you go back to the days of film, like the EM, and their digital cameras, Nikon has never ever embraced a slim frame aesthetic like the XT2. I don't care if you like Sony or not. Yeah, I say Sony and Fujifilm. XT2, A7R2. Nikon has never embraced a full frame aesthetic digital camera. The new mirrorless camera will be no different. It will be an overtly bombastic, and it's okay to make a camera extra beefy. Of course, none of them are waterproof. But it will, beyond a shadow of a doubt, be a bombastic beast compared to Sony and Fujifilm systems. When it comes out, there'll be a million people crying, just not there yet, and too little too late. And there will be a psychology behind the fact that all the people like me and others that have like a bazillion Nikkor lenses, it will be this dog laying a turd in the brain of each and every one of us. Psychology. It's like, wow, this is a neat camera. I don't know, well, yada yada, but yeah, needs an adapter. I gotta buy an adapter, even if they include the adapter for free, which of course, God help Nikon. God help Nikon if they actually came out with a mirrorless camera and they didn't include the adapter for free. Which will, to be able to drive screw drive lenses, that's actually another point that I wanted to make, which is number 9. Let me get to here. That will be an expensive little sucker in and of itself, given the many various different breeds and types of lenses that Nikon has. It's extremely likely, given the fact of screw drive lenses, which are mechanically driven lenses, okay? The adapter does not have room for that. I know how small the micro motors are. It is possible, but not likely. So you have screw drive lenses, we have E-series lenses, we have G-series lenses. For that adapter to be of course it has to have a certain thickness to accommodate for those F-series Nikkor lenses to the mirrorless system. So it will, of course, be a set dimension in its height, but the breadth and thickness of it to accommodate for not only the gears for the micro motor to drive a blade to drive the screw drive lenses, but also be able to use the G-series and E-series lenses as well. I just about guarantee you that Nikon will take their new mirrorless camera outside the purview of autofocus use for screw drive D-series Nikkor lenses. For them, I mean, that's most of their lenses that they have, not screw drive. It will still cover most of what Nikon has, which will be G-series and E-series. automatic aperture. There's no actually aperture lever on the back of the lens. The E-series electronically controlled aperture lenses like the 300mm PF, lenses like that, which don't have an aperture lever. So that's fine. I mean, that covers most of Nikon's lenses. They're G-series and E-series. That'll still piss off a lot of people. I guarantee you that there will not be an autofocus drive for G-series lenses with that adapter. It can't be body side too, because you can't drive any F-mount lens, G-series, D-series, or E-series on the mirrorless camera natively. It would be impossible. Absolutely impossible. The only way, people don't realize this, they just don't understand what's going on. You could do that, but you would have to actually make a camera as thick as a DSLR with that empty, huge empty space in there where the mirror was in a DSLR to accommodate for that same distance that an F lens is supposed to sit at. So there will be an adapter, but I bet that adapter will not be. So I'm repeating myself. So these are inescapable facts that Nikon will have to deal with, specifically the consciousness of those many people like myself that have a lot of Nikkor lenses that it's like, oh, okay, camera must buy an adapter to use a... You see, here's what you have to think. This is psychology. I have to buy an adapter to use Nikon glass on a Nikon camera. Repeat that to yourself again 3 more times. To use my Nikon glass on this new Nikon camera, which is mirrorless, I will have to buy, it will be included for free, which probably will be, might not be. I'll have to buy or put on a Nikon adapter. Repeat that again, because this is irrefutable. I will, to use my Nikon lenses on this new Nikon camera, I will have to put on or buy or both a Nikon adapter. That's not my speculation, belief, or feeling, or no, it's a fact. That's exactly an irrefutable fact. That psychology will poop itself right in the minds of many Nikon users, and they'll go, I think I'm going to buy a Fuji instead, or a Sony. Too little, too late. That's what everybody's going to say when it comes out. Because once the XT3 drops, I mean, God, if the XT2 isn't good enough already, for Christ's sakes, people are just like, no, too little, too late. That is what's going to happen on Nikon mirrorless camera. Even if it has 3 or 4 magic features that Sony and Fuji do not have. Oh my God, the new Nikon mirrorless camera has this amazing feature! By the way, if you think it's going to have a curved sensor, that'll be a future Nikon camera, but if it had a curved sensor, then no current Nikkor lens would be usable on it. No, they're not designed for that. Yeah, I mean that every current Nikon lens will be incompatible. And then you would have a completely new Nikon camera, which would be what I've been complaining about Sony at for so long. No lenses. Great, new Nikon camera. Okay, new lenses designed for a curved sensor. Curved sensors are astronomically expensive to produce, by the way. So you got a new Nikon camera, but none of the old lenses work on it. You'd have to have new lenses designed for the curved sensor. That's not good. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, you can always drop a buck or two below. It's always kindly appreciated. And the link below. Nikon!